Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mrs. Boulmaali. In today's video, we're going to be looking at sentence types. So, as it's recognized, the language is made up of words which work together to form sentences, and these sentences will work together to form paragraphs. In this section, we'll be focusing on sentences, how they are made, and how they behave. So, what is the role of sentence, and what is the point of knowing how to formulate a sentence? As we know, sentences help us to organize our ideas and to identify which items belong together and which should be separated. So first of all, we need to know what is a sentence, or what does mean a sentence. A sentence is a complete set of words that conveys meaning. All sentences begin with capital letter and end with punctuation mark. Also, the sentence is made up of subject and predicate. What does mean subject and what does mean predicate? Here you have an example. You are studying. So this is the sentence. You are studying is a sentence. So you represent the subject and are studying represent the predicate. Now we move to the classification of sentences. Of course, when we speak, we are using all kinds of sentences. But when we are writing, it's important to know the different types of sentence, especially if we want to write tests. So this test, if it will be corrected by correctors, the correctors want to see sentences variety. Even if we are writing anything else, it means we are not writing tests using the same kind of sentence, so our writing becomes very boring and so difficult to follow. Therefore, we need to vary the structure of sentences in our writing to give it the best meaning and improve the content for readers. So the classification of sentences, as you can see here, sentences are classified in two ways, according to their use and according to their form. So in this video, we're gonna focusing on the first part, or on the first category, which means classification of sentences according to the use or according to their use. So the classification of sentences according to their use, we have four types. In the first category of sentences, means the usage of sentences, we have four types. The first one is declarative sentences. You have the second one, imperative sentences. The third one, exclamatory sentences. The last one is interrogative sentences. Now we will see each type separately. So the first one is declarative sentences. They make statements and end with periods. You have an example. I go to the gym once a week. So this is declarative sentence. I'm telling you that I go to the gym once a week. The second type is imperative sentences. They give orders or commands or instructions. They end with periods or exclamation points, depending on the forcefulness of the sentence. You have two examples. The first one, look both ways before you cross the street. So here, I'm giving instruction to someone to be careful when he crosses the street. The second one, or the second example, watch out. Here, I'm giving order to someone to be careful. Now we move to the types of sentences in the imperative form. So in this second type of sentences, imperative sentences, we have three kinds. The first one is positive imperative sentence. What does mean positive imperative sentence? It means it asks someone to do something. So you have an example, call me when you get back. The second one, or the second kind in imperative sentence, we have negative imperative sentence. Negative imperative sentence. It means it instructs someone not to do something. For example, don't close the door. Here I'm asking someone to not close the door. The last one, or the third kind, or the third type in the imperative sentences, we have conditional imperative sentence. This kind of sentence include a conditional clause and are mostly in the form of complex sentences. Complex sentences is a kind of sentence in according to form, in the second part or in the second category of classification. You have an example. If you think you are going to be late, ask your brother to drop you off. The third type or the third kind of sentences according to use is the exclamatory sentences. They show strong feeling or express emotions, and it ends with exclamation points. Here you have an example. Wow, that's a good news. Wow, that's a good news. So here you have an exclamation mark. The last one, or the fourth type of sentences according to use, is the interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is one which generally used to ask a question in order to gather information about something. So here you have an example. What is your name? This is an interrogative sentence. It ends with question mark. What are you doing? What is this? Who is that man? Who is this? So those are interrogative sentences. In this kind of sentences, we have three types. So in the interrogative sentence, we have three types of interrogative sentences. The first type is choice questions. The second one, yes or no questions. The third one is WH questions. So what about the first one, choice questions? Choice questions means we have to choose between two things, for example. Here you have an example. Do you prefer coffee or tea? So here we have to choose between coffee or tea. The second type is yes or no questions. The example is, do you know the answer to this question? Here I have to answer by yes or no. Yes, I do. No, I don't. The third one is WH question. WH question means the question word, or the first question or the first word in the question starts with WH. The example here, where are you from? So here we have where, the question word is where, it starts with WH. Who is this? What are you doing? Those are WH questions. Now, to summarize or to sum up what we have seen, and to remember the different kinds of sentence according to use. So, for the first kind, declarative sentence, we should remember that a declarative sentence tells. It means when I use a declarative sentence, I'm telling something. I'm telling information. I'm giving you information. I'm telling you something new. Or I'm telling you something that is act. The second kind of sentences, an interrogative sentence, asks. It means when we want to gather information, or when we want to get something or some information, we ask. So we are using interrogative sentence. The third one, the imperative sentence, gives a command or instructions. The last one, or the fourth kind of sentences, an exclamatory sentence, have a lot of emotion. So try again to remember this. The first one tells, the second one asks, the third one gives command or instructions, the last one has a lot of emotion. So try again to remember what we have seen. At the end, we have an application exercise to check your understanding. So you have different sentences and you provide the kind of the sentence or the type of the sentence. So the first sentence carry all the documents that are required for verification. What is the kind or what is the type of the sentence? You have 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's an imperative sentence. The second one, how very strong it was. How very strong it was. So the sentence ends with an exclamation mark. So it's an exclamatory sentence. The third question or the third sentence, was the book interesting? Was the book interesting? So as you can see here, this sentence ends with question mark. so it's an interrogative sentence. The next one, I like chocolates. I like chocolates. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's declarative sentence. Here I'm telling you that I like chocolates. The next one, I'm sure I can do it. I'm sure I can do it. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's declarative sentence. The next one, is Tokyo the capital of Japan? Is Tokyo the capital of Japan? Here, as you can see, the sentence ends with a question mark. So, the sentence is interrogative sentence. Will they be here in an hour? Will they be here in an hour? This sentence is an interrogative sentence. Get out some paper and pencil. Get out some paper and a pencil. Here, I'm giving an order or instruction. So it's an imperative sentence. If you don't have a pencil, you can use one of my crayons. If you don't have pencil, you can use one of my crayons. So the sentence here is declarative. The students wondered how many questions they would have to answer. The students wondered how many questions they would have to answer. So here the sentence is declarative. Why aren't you doing your work? Why aren't you doing your work? So the sentence ends with question mark, so it's an interrogative sentence. So this is all about types of sentences according to use. Next time, inshallah, we will see the second category. It means the classification of sentences according to their form. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this course and see you next or see you soon, inshallah.